Are you a Muslim who's married or looking to get married? I'm sure you've heard that more than 50% of Muslim marriages are ending in a divorce. Now that's unfortunate, but there's help out there. My name is Hina Mirza. I'm a registered psychotherapist with a specialization in Islamic counseling. And I've been working with hundreds of couples building healthy, happy, strong marriages. Sign up for the course that I just completed with Happy Strong Family to foolproof your marriage and make sure that you have all the right tools and all the right skills to lead a healthy, happy, strong life with your partner.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm your host, Madiha Hussein. You're here on Muslimah Nook. And today we're going to be talking to some fellow sisters here who are business owners in the community. And we're going to get to know the highs, the lows, the ins, the outs of running a business from home, inshallah. And if you're looking to start a business soon, you're thinking about it, you're kind of hesitant, reluctant, hopefully, inshallah, the episode today encourages you to take those steps that you need to take to get where you want to go, inshallah. So we have here today two beautiful sisters. I'm going to start off with Janath. We have Janath Bhatti here on the table today, alhamdulillah, joining us today. And me and Janath actually go way back. We're family friends, childhood family friends. Yes. And mashallah, we went to UTM together. She's the sweet sister who took me around UTM and introduced me to the campus. And funny story, Sana, as I like to tell everybody this story. I'm gonna tell the whole world this story.
I've been waiting again for this story.
So when we were young, Janath, like I said, I told you in the car ride here that she was a very studious student, mashallah. She was always in her books, head in the books, mashallah, and her grades were superb. She was bringing the A's, mashallah, okay? So my dad would go to her house to visit her dad, and my dad would tell her, go and bring your report card to me and photocopy it.
Yeah.
Okay? And she would go. She knew what he was doing. She would go and she'd photocopy it and give it to him. And then he would come home and show me and my siblings her report card. And it was like, Janath is a great student, A+. Madiha, work on yourself. I'm like, okay, Dad, you added that comment in there. Yeah. But alhamdulillah, Janath. That's how our childhood was, basically.
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. But other than that, Janath, mashallah, she graduated from UTM in honors Bachelor of Science in Biology. And then after, she got her advanced diploma in ultrasound technician, right? Technologist. Yes. She's the person who puts a gel on you and then she's checking you out, mashallah. Yeah. And then soon after, she finished her education, she got married, and she has a beautiful baby boy. Yeah. You want to give a shout out? Go for it.
Shout out to Shahir. Mama loves you.
Mashallah. Beautiful baby boy, Shahir, who's now 2 years old. Yeah. And during this time, Janath embarked on different business ideas. Yeah. So I remember at one point you were selling hijabs.
I was.
Yeah, she was doing different things.
Yeah. I remember that too now.
I remember she came to my house and she gave me like 7 hijabs and I was like, yes.
I did. Yes, I
did.
And
with the magnets and everything.
Yes.
But it wasn't until she went on mat leave that the idea of laser hair removal came up. And I mean, ladies, who doesn't need laser hair removal, right? It's a booming.
South Asian.
Right? And that idea sparked and one thing led to another. And that's where IceBeam laser came into play. Came into fruition. So if you want to follow her on Instagram, you're looking for some services, it's at IceBeam Laser. And inshallah, we'll have it somewhere either in this video or in the description of this podcast. And it started specifically in April 2023. So relatively new.
Yes. Last year.
Mashallah.
Yeah.
So I didn't go too much in depth because I want you to tell your story,
okay,
your journey. I want you to, tell us how it all began.
Okay.
But before we get there, I'm gonna move over to Sister Sana, who, mashallah, we met on the court.
Yeah.
Not any court, but the basketball court, where, mashallah, she's silent, but she takes her shots. Let me tell you that. And I also saw her at expos. So I would see her at Ramadan expos, at different bazaars. And that really, I saw you hustling. And that was admirable. And I want you to talk more about that, inshallah, soon as well, about putting yourself out there as a woman in spaces like that where you're trying to sell your goods. But specifically, to go on your biography a little bit, is Sana came to Canada in 1998 from India with her parents and her big sister, and she settled in Markham. So right here.
Nice.
So for all of you guys who don't know, this podcast is hosted here at Markham Masjid, mashallah. And you got your degree at York University in urban planning. And then you got married in 2008, mashallah. So
2012.
2012,
Yeah,
mashallah.
my
So
husband in 2008.
oh wow,
Nice.
mashallah.
Yeah.
So you guys have been married for almost 13 years.
Oh.
Wow, mashallah, mashallah, mashallah. May Allah put many more years of love and togetherness for you.
Need some tips.
Yeah, don't we all?
Don't we all?
And Sana is the face behind NAIMA Modest Collection Wear, which she started in December 2022. So a couple years back, and you can follow her on Instagram as well. It's at naima.modest.collection. Where?
Yeah.
Where, inshallah. We'll put that in the description of this video, inshallah. And other than pursuing her passion of modest wear collection and empowering other Muslim women, she also has a full-time job. She's a construction project manager. Interesting. Wow, mashallah.
Nice.
I'm sure you're surrounded with a lot of guys, I'm assuming.
Mostly guys.
Yeah, so so we got to talk a bit more about that too. But your passion and heart is in NAIMA Modest Collection, mashallah. And before that, you used to make custom cakes.
Yes, so I did that for almost
Cool.
7 years. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
Yeah, I did custom cakes for weddings, birthdays,
Nice.
for engagement parties, like
Mhm.
just whenever
Events.
yeah.
Yeah.
So my
Wow.
weekends were actually my whole week was pretty busy. Just
Yeah.
prepping for
Prepping.
stuff,
Yeah.
just getting all the material together,
Mhm.
and
It's a
it was
lot
always
of work.
different.
Yeah,
It's a lot
yeah,
of work,
yeah.
definitely a lot of work.
Mhm.
But I think once COVID hit, that's when, and I think it came from Allah Ta'ala as well,
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
because He's the one, He has everything planned for us,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So, and my mind was sort of setting into the fact that, okay, I think I just want to move on to something else, and I think
Yeah.
sort of like a blessing in disguise where COVID came,
Mhm.
and obviously orders were starting to sort of reduce at that point.
Mhm.
And I thought, okay, you know what, let's just slow this down.
Yeah.
And there was a lot happening in the family at that time as well, so I think it was best to just close it
Mhm.
down at that point. And
Mhm.
then I gave myself a couple of years, and then that's where then the pot just started brewing at that
Mhm.
time, right?
Yeah.
What I want to
Yeah.
do next. So that's where
Nice.
NAIMA came.
What
to.
was the name of your?
Montresor cakes? Yeah,
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
mashallah.
like my little treasures.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
cute.
wow,
Yeah.
beautiful,
Nice,
mashallah.
nice.
So one door closed, another door
Another-
opened.
Yes.
But the door that was closed, mashallah, started like so much for that
Mhm.
door or that new opportunity,
Yes,
right? I'm sure
yeah.
you learned how to deal with customers and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
mashallah, it's like that sets you up for success with this
Mhm.
in many ways.
I think so. Yeah, in
Right?
many ways.
SubhanAllah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this all started from the idea of infusing chic and trending styles. That's what your passion was, and you wanted to bring that to
And
the
I think,
table.
yeah, definitely. And I think also, as we're all hijabis here,
Mhm,
and I know
yeah.
that we want to dress modestly as well.
Mhm.
So the
And look
idea
good.
and look
And
good
look
at the
good
same
at the same
time,
time,
yeah.
right?
And
Yeah.
we're always trying to figure out, okay, like because of the options that we have available, you're always trying to figure out, okay, I have to wear a sweater on top of this,
Mhm.
or I need to figure
Yeah.
out how to cover myself properly
Yes.
or anything like that. And a swimwear as well. I think that's
Yeah,
another one
yeah.
that I know I've spent almost $200 just
Yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
one set of
Yeah.
swimwear, right?
Yeah.
So which is a lot, and
Mhm.
then on top of there's shipping and all of that. So I wanted to bring that in Canada because I think that's what we were lacking here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's
But I know that they're available in the US. There's lots of great modest fashion in the
Mhm.
UK, and that's where I used to buy a lot of my
Yeah.
modest wear from. So I wanted to bring that here and keep it reasonably priced as well.
Yes.
So
That's
Um,
huge.
yeah.
I feel like modest wear. I'm not sure why, but why is it so
So
expensive?
expensive.
yeah,
Well, now there's
Right?
so much being introduced in the market. And I tell a lot of my friends who are thinking about becoming
Mhm.
hijabi, I'm like, if there's a time to become hijabi, it's now.
yeah.
There's so much out there
There's
now,
so much out
mashallah.
there,
You can really
yes.
find your style. And even what's being offered is feeding many different types of styles, right?
Mhm.
Like whether you're super feminine or you want to be
Mhm.
casual, like
Mhm.
everything's out there now.
Everything's out there.
Yeah.
So subhanallah. I guess I'm gonna start by opening up the discussion, and feel free to answer whoever you guys want. Whoever wants to, answer the question, go for it. Is what why did you guys choose the field of line that you did for your business? So why did you choose laser hair removal? Because I'm sure people want to ask that, right? And why did you choose Modest Wear Collection? Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, since I already sort of brought that conversation in already, that
yeah.
we were having a hard time, or at least I was having a hard time finding anything that was reasonably priced, and something that was I tend to wear looser things. I like to wear a little bit more where my silhouette is not sort of shown. So I wanted to bring that in, and so I started off with knit sets. So my business, I started off with hijabs. That's definitely something that I wanted to bring in, and I know modal hijabs. It's the biggest rage right now, and I absolutely love them. And and we're looking into adding more colors now, so I'm really excited to introduce that as well. Yeah, lots of summer colors and stuff. So currently we do have a lot of modal hijabs. We have chiffon hijabs. So I introduced that, but then I slowly want to introduce modest wear as well, and I started off with knit sets, and that was just the right time when I introduced it just last October. So perfect timing because it's fall time, winter time.
Perfect. Yeah, smart.
And so cord sets, nice loose cord sets.
That's been in.
And that's my personality too, because I'm the lazy kind where I don't want to think about what am I going to pair with this? What am I going to pair with that? You have the top, you have the pant, it's all ready, just put the hijab on and you're ready to go. So I think that's what I essentially want to make our lives easier as well, right? By not having to think too much. That's why we have sets as well for hijabs where you have the matching undercap with the hijab.
Which my sister-in-law Nida got me, and I was like, yes. And that's how, honestly, when we were putting this podcast together, I'm like, you're wearing NAIMA modest wear.
Oh wow! Look
yes,
at that.
Nida was wearing
wow,
it, and I was like, I'm going on the podcast with her. She's
wow,
like, what?
Wow,
so that's how also I got introduced to you as well. And then through the group.
Yeah, through the group. And it was so sweet the day that I met her to get my mehendi done as well.
Okay. Yes. So your sister-in-law, mashallah, does she's a huge mehendi artist.
Shout out Nida.
Yeah, mashallah, like next level mehendi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mashallah,
so talented.
SubhanAllah. I mean, we have so many sisters in the community that are doing amazing things. Mashallah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you started off with knit sets, and you were strategic with it. So you started off at the time of the season where people would likely wear it, purchase it, etc. And then how was actually before we go on to that, why did you choose? I want to ask because you went from ultrasound to laser hair removal.
It's kind of similar because if you really think about it, laser hair removal is a medical procedure, right? Doctors used to do it. So I wanted to still be in the field of health. Ultrasound, love it, still love it, and also interacting with patients. So this is kind of similar. You're dealing with machinery. You're dealing with ultrasound gel. I literally apply ultrasound gel to the body, right? And also dealing with clients, whereas in ultrasound I was dealing with patients. So that communication, where I can talk to clients openly without being awkward. So ultrasound really added value to laser hair removal in my business. And I still wanted to be in that field, right? Where I'm taking care of clients, where I'm taking care of their needs. They're coming in because their problem is excessive hair, right? Whereas for ultrasound, obviously they're coming in for numerous reasons. So it's really similar, right? So
actually, so many parallels,
right? Yeah, it's really similar, and even the machinery, how clean the handle. You learn a lot about that from ultrasound, from just being in health. So it just made it, honestly, subhanAllah, if you really think of it, it just made it easy. The transition was not hard at all. All I needed was that license to be a certified laser technician. But the rest, being in healthcare, I've been an ultrasound tech for 6 years now, and I graduated in 2018.
Mashallah.
It just added more value. And it just made the transition so much easier.
Yeah.
So there was no difficulties in that part. But the difficulties, which I guess we'll ask,
we'll dive deeper into it.
Yeah.
But I have to say that I'm sure it also adds, as a customer, if I were to come to you, it adds, I would trust you more because I'm you're an ultrasound tech.
So that's another.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I would tell my clients, like, hey, mouse, like if they were nervous or if they had a bad experience before, and when I would just bring that up, like, hey, I'm also an ultrasound technologist, they'd be like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I trust you more now because you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because there's so many out there, laser technicians, not that they're bad or anything, but just being in that realm of health, it adds more comfort to the client.
Yeah.
For sure.
So again, like with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like it just made it easier.
Alhamdulillah.
Right?
I could see that.
Yeah.
And even with laser hair removal, like nowadays there's an increase of like more people have PCOS, more people have, I think it's called hirsutism.
Hirsutism.
Yeah. And so like there is a need for it, right?
Yes.
Girls are suffering in many ways.
Yes.
And you know, for women, we need to feel confident and comfortable in our skin, and laser hair removal has been helping with that, right? Feeling good about yourself, etc. And so I'm sure like the work you do is so fruitful because you're making girls feel
I
so
love
good
it.
about
I
themselves,
love it. And just having them telling me like, hey, I don't have to like shave too much anymore, or you know, like I can go out without having to worry like with facial hair on the chin. Just added so much, like it motivated me to do so, like to just continue this on. And again, with like you pointed out, PCOS, like these are medical problems, and through that, it made them understand, you know, like, okay, like this is what's the cause, and this is how laser can, sometimes you see the effect, the benefits of it, and sometimes you don't, and why. Right? Like why is there still hair growing, and why is it growing in some areas more than others? So that's all medically related, and just coming from that background, again, just added value to the business.
Like you can really provide a wholesome response to your customer. Mashallah.
Yeah.
Awesome. You guys have anything else you want to add?
Just go for it.
Yeah, right?
Just go for it, honestly.
Yeah.
It's so hard. We think about the ifs and the buts.
We're afraid of taking the risk.
We're afraid of taking the risk.
And I think that's what it is. Just take the risk. What's the worst that's going to happen?
Worst that's going to happen?
Allah Ta'ala is there. He's going to help us as well along the way, right?
So. And you need to have, again, we were talking about this, tawakkul, trust in his plans. He knows what's best for us. We won't know.
Yeah.
But he knows. You just have to trust the process, trust the moment, leave it in his hands. Again, tie your camel. You know, put in the effort, but just leave the rest in his hands. Trust in him. When you have that mentality, it's easier.
It is easier.
It's easier,
for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
There's this thing that Sean King said. When he came and he did a talk with AFH, and he said something. He's like, people are now gravitating towards choosing comfort over courage. And he's like, no, you choose courage over comfort.
Yeah.
And I think I so resonate. It just hit me because I was like, like we're just too comfortable.
Yeah.
And we just think of ideas, but we don't want to execute because it is hard and it is scary and it is risky. But that's what courage is.
Yeah.
You take the shot anyways because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has your back. That's the main thing in your toolbox. Is if you don't have that there, then of course the risk is so big and of course it's daunting, but you have Allah. And that's where you're like, okay, if anything happens, my back is protected because Allah is watching over me. He's my protector. And Yani, I tried.
Exactly.
Right?
And it's going to help you grow.
Yeah. You learn so much about yourself.
So much.
Yeah.
You honestly do.
What you're capable of, what you're not,
Yeah.
what you can do, what you can't. It's all part of the process.
So after closing down Montresor, and then COVID happened, and of course we all got really comfortable at home being home. And I think I was getting too comfortable that, you know, this is nice, you know, I got my weekends back. I'm not baking cakes, or I'm not delivering, you know, to this location or that location. And I think that also sort of made me realize, okay, I can't get comfortable. I need to be doing something. And I think that's where, you know, then I started pushing myself to okay, what else can we do? What else am I good at? And, you know, started questioning myself. And I have my own personal page as well, where, you know, I post a lot of my outfits and stuff like that. And I think that's where people also encourage me that, you know, you should get into this because you have a flair for that, so
Yes.
why not like try something? And I think that's when it started brewing, and of course having my family support, my husband's
That's
support,
huge.
and my
Yeah,
in-laws
that's
too.
huge.
Very
Yeah.
everyone's been so supportive throughout this process, and I think and your business is like your baby, right? So and when they say that,
Nurturing,
it takes a village to
raise
raise
a
a
baby.
baby,
Yeah,
and that's how
does.
it is. Like
It's a
even though
business, yeah.
even though I'm the face probably of NAIMA, but I have this entire
support.
Yeah.
that's constantly helping me with any questions I have, anything that I need help with. Like even just when I'm doing expos or anything, my sister-in-law, like for Riz, she was there with me helping along with my husband as well. And then my sister came, my mom came after, and then so
and just seeing that support,
Yeah.
it just motivates you that you
Exactly.
can do this,
Yeah.
right? Like even for me, my husband, when I just brought up the idea of laser hair removal, and I really needed it because through pregnancy and breastfeeding, your hair is growing super fast. And it was a time like, okay, I need to go for my laser hair removal session. And I went, right, for the session, 45 minutes. And I came home and I was like to my husband, I can do this. It was just that, the light bulb.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
ding.
like I can do this.
I just said
Yeah.
that. I was like, I can do this. And for him, it was do it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Look into it. And for him, he really pushes an idea. If he knows it's worth it, research into the machine, research into how you can do is contact your previous like laser technician, see if they can help you out. And just with all that span of 2 months, researching, getting the machine, and when the machine did come, I was like, okay, I gotta start.
I'm doing this. Yeah,
I gotta start now,
no going back from
no
there,
going back.
right?
I set it up in my basement, and it was just simple.
Yeah.
Before now, like mashallah, through my friend, she helped me redecorate my place.
Wow.
And it looks really
thank
good.
you.
I love when you post
Right?
your videos and stuff.
Yeah, and you do it from your home.
From my house,
Yeah,
So it's a
mashallah,
home-based business. It's private, there's no one coming and going. There's no background noise. You're comfortable, just you and me.
Yeah.
That's it, right? So I
Alhamdulillah.
started from the basics, and alhamdulillah, when I got my first 2 clients, and that was not even someone I knew.
Yeah.
They just found me
Wow.
through Instagram, or I think through Google, and I'm like, wow, like this can really work. And then it just spread through word of mouth. Like if you offer quality care, if you take care of your clients, if you don't cheap out on the service that you're offering, which a lot of laser technicians do, unfortunately, and they see the results, they will come back, and it's honestly, they will do the marketing for you.
Yeah, for
right?
sure. Yeah.
Same goes for hijabs, or if someone can wear even like hijabs through you, right? That's sadaqah jariya.
Yeah,
right?
SubhanAllah.
So just again going to the support system. Like even my mother-in-law, she I have my toddler, and anytime I have evening clients, she'll be with him, right? So just having that support goes a long way, right? So it's
Support's important.
Support is important, especially when you're starting off a business.
Yeah.
And
I feel some sisters may feel that they don't have support, but you do. You just look for it. It's like shaitan. It's the whisper, right? It's just shaitan telling you, don't do it. Don't do it. Like this person's not going to believe in this and this. And I'm sure you guys had support and doubts from people, from the people who are supporting you.
Yeah.
But look in your network. There is someone there. Don't tell me that there's not one person who can help you, with launching whatever your idea is.
Yeah.
Right. And even with what you're saying about the service you give, I think that if you do things with ihsan, honestly, you try your best to give it to provide excellence, Allah will pave the path.
Yes.
And it might not be right away.
Yeah.
I feel like another thing is a lot of people don't want to do it because they're like, I have to make it perfect. And it's like that. Well, that's, of course, you're setting yourself up for failure because
it takes time and patience.
It does. It definitely does.
It takes time and patience. Yeah.
All good things take time.
Yeah.
Right.
There will be not months, I would say a month where I would have no client in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And I would just come downstairs and just stare at my machine. And again, just talk to Allah. Like, Allah, please give me more clients. Just ask.
Yeah.
Right? I'm doing this just so I can help Muslim girls. Rewind. Also, just having a Muslim person doing a service for you, also of the same background and culture, you connect more with them. Clients connect more with you.
You already get into a comfort level with them.
Yes. And so again, they'll be like, I didn't have clients. And then just having that trust and believing him and just talking to God, it just opened doors.
Yeah.
And success comes your way, and always be humble with that as well, you know.
Yes.
And be grateful for that there are people coming to you for something that they highly they really need, and just be grateful as well for that.
Yeah, you have a responsibility. You put yourself up for service, and so you have to deliver as Allah would want you to deliver as a Muslim, right?
Yes.
Even if you have, I'm sure you have non-Muslim clients too, right? So you have a responsibility to really do things.
I think just being Muslim, it's like you have that. I cannot cheap them. I cannot just take away or turn for example a setting down so that they don't see the results, and I want my clients to keep coming back. But that's just gonna
take the taqwa, right?
That's
you know that
guilt.
you have the
that's the guilt. Oh, you know, are you really if you're if you weren't Muslim, sure you could do that, but being a Muslim, you need to be loyal to your clients
for sure,
and you need to make them trust you. Right. So that
building that trust is very important. And,
I'm sure. So I feel like you talked a little bit about your challenges, but for you guys, what was the biggest challenges that you guys face, trying to explore and building out your businesses?
Lots of challenges, actually. Just, I think even for me, I felt like because this was more of, I would say, starting off with the online business, right? Where you're now setting up everything on the website, you're setting up on a social media platform and getting comfortable with that. I don't have a background in, how to start off a website or marketing. And, how to get your brand out there. I don't know that because with cakes, it was again word of mouth. I started off my first cake, I had posted it on Kijiji at that time. That's where my first ad started off from, actually, and then sort of moved on from there onto Instagram. But that's all I knew at that point. I didn't have a website, I didn't have anything at that point. But with NAIMA, when you're building a fashion brand, you have to have a proper platform for everything. And again, going back to, what if it's not perfect? At that point, you can't really have anything perfect. You're going to learn as you go, right? That's all behind the scenes. People that are going to be going on your website or, that are going to see you face to face at events, they're not going to see that. They're just going to see the products that you have, the customer service that you provide. So at that point, when starting off, the challenge was of how am I going to build this? How am I going to get my name out there? And just so I learned everything.
Wow.
You learn everything. You're right.
You
even when clients would see my reels, they're like, "Oh my God, you're so good at that." I'm like, "You just learn." And that was a challenge for me as well. Social media, just how to put your brand out there. And for me, it was like, oh, the X number of followers means that you're up there. It really doesn't matter.
I stopped looking at the numbers. I'm like, because that makes you go insane.
It does.
You start losing focus and you start losing focus on the quality that you want to put out there, right? So then I was just focusing on content, what kind of, and then putting my face out there. That was another challenge.
That's a different one.
Yes, you're right.
First I was like, okay, maybe just having the products out there, just having proper reels and all of that, that's gonna help. But then no, they want to know you.
Clients want to
They really want to know you.
They want to connect.
Exactly, and that's how you build that connect. And
that's what marketing is, right? How do you build an emotional connection with that brand or with that product?
That being hijabi as well. Like, do I put my face out there? Do I not? Do I? For me, I put it out there, but I haven't formally introduced myself. So I'll put myself in reels, just as a funny reel, and but that's about it. So I still have to do a formal introduction, get into scrubs and put that laser wand in my hand and be like, hey, this is me. Which I still have to do.
I mean, I guess you're taking subtle stuff.
Yes,
it's hard to put yourself out there as a woman, right? and
'Cause
for
you
the
see
public.
comments and for the public.
And even like
Yeah.
you think about it Islamically too,
Yeah.
like sometimes it confuses you. Like, should I
Yeah.
even put myself
Should
out
I even
there,
put myself
etc.
out there? Yeah.
And I'm an introvert, so
Yeah.
for me, I felt like it was really hard
Like
for me
exposing.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good,
to,
mashallah.
you know,
mashallah,
put myself out there. And sometimes I'll tell my husband like, well, why don't you like just try to, he's like, no, you're the face,
You're
the face.
you've created this, you
Yes.
have to be out
Yes,
there,
you're the brand.
yeah.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
that sort of like just keeps running in the back of my
Yes.
mind that okay, I have to push
Yeah.
myself. And
Yeah.
that's why
Mhm.
and I think that's where the basketball thing also started, because that really helped me actually ease into
Ease
my
into it.
brand, because
Mhm.
my husband, he is an extrovert, so we're opposites in the sense, but we
Complimentary.
we
mashallah.
complement each other, alhamdulillah. And so he plays cricket, he's part of so many different leagues, he's
Mhm.
out there, he loves talking to people. And me, on the other hand, because
Yeah.
I'm the introvert,
Yeah.
I just watch, I listen,
Yeah.
I'm observing a lot of the
Observing.
times, right? But I was like, no, I need to change that about myself.
Mhm.
I need to be more out there. And that's when I decided, okay, I should be part of some league as well. I should be
Mhm.
playing something as well.
Mhm.
And that's when I started doing my research. I found out about NAPL. So I joined NAPL, which
Mashallah.
it was a very scary thought,
Mhm.
but
No, she was good.
Yeah.
Like we're playing, we're taking a shot,
Yeah.
and she comes from behind, and I'm like, whoa. Knocks the ball out. I'm like, whoa, where did you come from, sister?
Nice.
But mashallah, no.
and it's so much fun, just meeting all the ladies.
Yes,
and just,
networking,
yeah.
connecting,
Yeah.
seeing new faces.
Yes, exactly.
That's always
And playing with so many different levels as well.
Mhm.
Like, of course, I was starting out, so you have your and then you have your intermediate level, then you have your the experts, right?
Mhm, mhm.
But it was just the mix of women coming together and helping out each other
Yeah.
as well. So I think that got me comfortable. I'm like,
Yes.
okay, you know what, this is
Yes.
good, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can be out there,
Be out
and
there, yes,
and
yeah.
get to know people
Yeah.
and get comfortable
Yeah.
just talking
Yes.
and learning about others.
Yeah, and even being at expos, right?
Yeah.
Just you're
Yeah,
seeing
yeah,
so
yeah.
many faces.
That can be daunting, I can
Yeah.
imagine,
Yeah.
right? Like
The
just
first
like,
one was
The first
definitely,
one was,
but
yeah.
alhamdulillah, now that I've done a
Alhamdulillah.
couple of
you
them,
know.
now I know, okay, you got to do
You
this.
gotta do
Good
this,
for
you
you.
gotta do
You
this.
took the
Yeah.
steps of courage.
Yeah.
You didn't
Yeah.
choose comfort.
You didn't not
and
choose
and that's
comfort.
what every business owner needs to do.
Yeah.
And they have done. If you study them,
Yeah.
they took steps that were very uncomfortable and they were scared, but they did it anyways.
If you're being comfortable, you're not doing enough.
You're not doing
You're
enough.
not
Yeah.
doing
I think in
enough.
life in general.
Life in general,
Right?
with anything, not
Yeah.
even business, with anything, you're not doing enough. Even with working out, if you're too
Yeah.
comfortable with your weights,
You're not sweating
doing,
buckets.
You're not
and-
doing enough.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not doing enough. But again, networking is huge for a business owner. Yes, social media can only do so much,
Exactly.
but you have to get out there and talk.
yeah,
Talk
Yeah.
and hype
and
your
be
brand
proud
up.
about your,
Yeah.
And hype your brand up.
exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, this is who I am. This is what I do. Hey, if you're in need, you
Yeah.
know,
Mashallah.
yeah, being Muslim, being of the same culture, come on over, try it out.
Yeah.
Try it out.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
Our little salesperson here. Mashallah.
try it out, guys.
Yeah. At IceBeam Laser Instagram. I think, what I'm hearing and what I'm kind of gathering is you don't need to have everything, but you
No.
need to be determined.
Yes,
And you need to be uncomfortable a little bit
Yeah.
and just know that it's going to be okay.
It's gonna be okay.
And being Muslims, we know we're going to be okay
Yeah.
because Allah
Yeah.
has our back.
Has
And
our
like
back.
whatever happens to you is
Yeah.
khair. Whether it's a negative, quote unquote, negative experience,
Mhm.
that's Allah still taking care of you and loving you, and you're
Mhm.
learning things,
Mhm.
and it's character development, and you're building maybe resilience, right? Yeah. Were there any fallbacks that you guys had where it was hard, but then you came back and you were like stronger than before the fallback in your business journey? Like, for example, like maybe that you were talking about how for 1 month
Mhm.
you didn't have
Yes.
clients, but maybe that made you think about creative ideas and you were
Yes.
like, you know what, I'm gonna
Yes.
post more.
So that was that. Post more.
Yeah. And
Yes.
and that came from what?
That
From a
came
hardship
From a hardship.
Of
where
not having people
not
for a
have
month.
like 2 clients in 1 month, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, and I'm like, Janath, it's okay. I even gave myself grace. Like,
Good.
hey, like, you're starting off, you just have to put yourself out there. How are you going to do that?
Yeah.
How are you going to do that? Google reviews helped a lot,
Mm.
right? My husband was like saying, create a Google account, and that's also for free. It's like you just tell, like, hey, like, this is my page. If you would leave me a review, that helped a lot. And just I would say just trusting like, hey, you're going to be okay. Give yourself grace. I think that's so important.
We're so hard on ourselves.
We're so hard on
right?
ourselves.
We really are.
Yeah.
Like we got here because you got here
Yeah.
with the help of Allah, but you got here. You thought about this idea.
Yeah.
You're going to make it work.
Yeah.
And again, just putting yourself out there. So I just started posting more content, and my clients started to love it. They started to post, love the stories, and they would come in. They're like, I love what you post. And I would also just post about everyday life. Like, hey, I'm going here, and people love that. You know, they like to say, like, hey, what you're doing. So another turning point in the business was having my space being redecorated. So my husband for my birthday got me the neon sign, the IceBeam laser.
Aww.
Oh, loved it.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
And I wanted to put it up right away, but I'm like, I want to paint the walls, right? It was this beige color, and so I was like, let's hold up on that. 2 days later, my university friend messaged me saying, hey, I love what you're doing. I want to support you. Can I come and redo your space?
Wow. So wow.
And she has that interior designing background. So she came with her sister.
Look
She
at
did
that.
it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Again, trusting the process.
Yeah.
Allah will just
Allah
literally
will
pave the
open
path.
the doors.
Yeah.
It came 100%. I did not know that she did that.
Yeah.
She was just watching my stories, and because of the constant posting, just random. It wasn't even professional, just random. She just loved the idea that I was doing a lot, and she wanted to support me.
Wow.
So she came, she redid my space, she made it all nice and chic and spa-like vibes.
Yeah.
I think just posting that as well, it makes it look, it's a professional space that I can come here and relax and get my service done. And just makes it look more
I understand.
put together.
Like people might associate a home business
yes,
with, this is maybe not
ghetto,
as professional. Yeah, right.
Not as professional. Maybe she doesn't clean her stuff or her towels.
Yeah.
But I also post that. Like, hey, you have to post behind the scenes for a service.
Yeah.
Like, these are the towels. It's being cleaned. It's being bleached. This is the one. It's being disinfected, sanitized.
Smart.
With these wipes.
You're speaking to your audience.
You're speaking
right?
to your audience, and that's huge. So that also turned the brand into something bigger. Just redoing the space. For me, making it more professional, how I envision it. And she went beyond. She put details in every corner.
Shout out to that friend.
Shout out to that friend.
Yeah.
Hera Qadri.
Wow, Hera, come to my house. Please design my
I
room.
miss you.
I feel like those are also that's Allah also
Blessings.
talking to you through people. It's
through
He's
people.
telling you that what you're doing is right. Keep at it. And I'll send the
I love
means
that.
to you.
Nice.
Honestly, sometimes Allah, I find that I have an idea or something in my heart, and I just haven't said it or done it, and then Allah literally and I
puts
was
it
like,
on
He
a-
listens to us.
yeah.
right?
I was like,
So-
He listens to us without even speaking.
No.
Yeah.
SubhanAllah, who else can do that,
Close to our
right?
heart.
How
Yeah.
SubhanAllah.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
why we had that conversation that don't focus on people. Don't have your entire life around a certain person or a certain thing.
Yeah.
Allah Ta'ala, just
Allah
believe in
Ta'ala,
Allah
yeah.
Ta'ala, and
Yeah.
just believe that He will
He'll
get
guide
you.
you.
He'll guide you.
Yeah.
He will guide you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
There's that name of Allah. It's Al-Latif,
Allah
and it means the subtle guide,
Mhm.
right? Because we just want to be guided.
Yeah.
We're like, tomorrow,
Yeah,
I want it.
oh,
Right?
yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
nah, that's not even good for you.
Patience.
Baby
Patience,
steps.
yeah.
So slowly take you there so that it's good for you to transition into whatever you want to
Mhm.
transition into. Right? Everything is done in small increments so that it's a wholesome experience. And along the way, as you're being guided, not only do you get what's good for you, but also you learn and you
learn,
grow.
you learn
And
grow. And
you
we're
know?
still growing.
Yeah.
yeah,
We're still learning
subhanAllah.
and growing. I don't think we got to where obviously we want. We still want to grow bigger.
Yeah.
And that's part of the process. We're going to grow and learn and maybe put ourselves more out there and introduce more modest wear, introduce more services. We're still learning. Take more
Yeah.
courses on
Yeah.
something, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you never know.
You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
SubhanAllah.
Hint, hint.
Yeah, right. And both of you, so you're married, mashallah, you're running your household, you are working, you have 2 cats,
Yes.
I believe, right? So you're a cat
Coco
mom,
and
and then
CJ.
right.
Shout out to Coco.
Coco and CJ.
Mashallah.
Love it.
They're gonna not even look at the screen. You know how cats are. They're just whatever.
Unless they do that's mama.
Yeah. And then with you have your in-laws, your son, and
Yeah.
so how are you guys balancing work, full-time work, married life, motherhood with doing your own thing?
Yeah.
How's balancing that? What's your advice to fellow sisters that want to embark on something but they feel so heavy or overwhelmed with their plate?
Yeah. Again, support system. It's
yeah,
needed.
yeah, it is. You definitely need that
Yeah.
support system. But even if I think you're on your own,
Mhm.
it works out. Somehow it works out. I don't know.
There's barakah.
You
Allah's
just
barakah,
have to
right?
put that step forward.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, people will push you and it'll be in your head, but you just really got to put yourself out there. You're like, okay, I want to start this. Let's
Yeah.
do it. Let's
If your
take baby
mind is
steps.
at it,
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
take baby steps.
Yeah.
Like, for example, for me, research into the machine, see what's out there. That's a step going towards building a brand.
yeah,
Not automatically, okay, go get that machine. Obviously, you need to have the money, right? So that's a baby step. And again, with just how I'm handling. So I was off of mat leave and I went back to work as an ultrasound tech in June. Last year, June of 2023. And I already have started IceBeam laser. So that was full go, but slow because it was newly
Launched,
newly launched. And I was doing both. I was doing ultrasound 3 days a week. So I went part-time, 9 to 4. And then I was doing laser Tuesday, Thursdays, weekends. So I was working 7 days a week.
Mhm.
And I did that for a good till honestly this year, February.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
I was juggling, and then family as well.
And so that's heavy.
It was heavy,
Yeah.
and I was just being exhausted and tired.
Yeah.
And then 2024 February, I think I had a new mindset. I need to give grace to myself, and that's when it was a heavy decision, but I decided to quit work
Okay.
as an ultrasound tech. Yeah,
I mean, alhamdulillah.
yeah,
I
it
think
was a
that's
heavy
the right
decision,
Yeah.
and I still miss it. Ultrasound's my passion. Like when I was working, I enjoyed going to work. I enjoyed talking to patients. I enjoyed just looking at the screen. For me, ultrasound was just, it gave me purpose. You know, like it's even when I talk about it, like I was like I have flashbacks to work, and the environment I was in, my work environment was amazing, great, loved it. But then I also had to think about my family, my son. Mashallah, he's growing. He's 2 now, and I'm missing really crucial parts of his life. And as a mom, you have that mom guilt. And I'm like, hey, you can't have it all. Even though, yes, it was doable, but I was exhausting myself. Right? And so I let go. It was a big decision. And it was just before Ramadan. And so now I'm just doing full-time laser. I love it even more. You know, it's full-time.
Yeah.
I have my own schedule. I can work with my own schedule. And I think that's important. I'm more with my son.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's important.
And that's so important, right?
Yeah.
Even with just being with your family, it's huge.
Yeah.
And so that's how I'm doing it now. Just letting go of work for now. I can always go back.
Yeah.
I still have my degree. I can always
Yeah,
go back when my son's
exactly, yeah.
older.
That's the other
you
thing.
know?
You can always
I
go
can
back.
always go
it's
back.
not a
Yeah.
door
Yes.
closed, sealed, shut.
No,
right?
It doesn't
No.
end there.
Yeah.
You know,
It does not end there. No.
You don't know where things are going to
Yeah.
take you, right?
Yeah.
And where opportunities
Mhm.
open up.
Yeah.
And like you said before, that if one door closes, another door
Another
opens.
door
up.
opens,
So,
and it might open
yeah.
bigger.
Exactly.
Yeah, you
Inshallah,
never know.
Might
And
open
that's the
two
hope you
doors.
have, right?
Yes,
That's the hope you have.
Yeah.
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 You don't know what door is going to open. You know
Yes.
how big it's going to open,
Yes.
but Allah's going to have a door
If they're
open.
gonna-
And
yeah.
that's
Sure.
the tawakkul,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And what about
Yeah.
for you? Like, being a construction project manager and then running NAIMA, like how do you manage all that?
So prior to my current position or company that I'm working at, I was at another company, and great team, amazing team. And I actually I still keep in contact with them.
Mhm.
It was, and my direct manager, he was really great to work with. But the hard decision was that because it was really, it required a lot of my time.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
days and evenings were completely gone. And that was the time when NAIMA had not started.
Okay.
And I felt like, okay, I wasn't happy. I was happy where I was working, but I just wasn't content with where I was at.
Mhm.
And I made lots of dua at that time.
Mhm.
And I was just praying that, and I didn't want to leave my job because I liked what I was doing. It's just that it was taking too much of my time, and I wasn't getting to do what I really, really want to do. And we went to Hajj that year, which was 2021. 2021.
So just a year before.
Sorry, 2022.
Okay, so the year
same
of
year,
NAIMA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just 6 months before we went for Hajj, I made so much dua that time that I just need some sort of direction. I need something. How do I get this this heaviness off my shoulder, right? Where I just felt like I wasn't getting where I want to be. Professionally, I was doing great, but for my own contentment,
like the fulfillment.
I wasn't feeling that, and Allah Ta'ala opened up, ways for you where I saw another opportunity. It actually came to me.
Okay.
It wasn't even like, that I went to look for this other opportunity. The opportunity came to me, and I was still a little hesitant about taking up the role, but I figured let's just jump onto it. And alhamdulillah, such an amazing team to work for currently as well. But it gave me a lot of my time as well. Where this the new project that I'm working on, the team that I'm with, it's really balanced where I finish my work. I start my work at 9, finish it off at 5. If whenever time is required for me to go into office, I'll do that. But it gave me time to work on other things, focus on other things. And that's where the NAIMA was able to be where I was able to be launched. And I think of that time every single time that in my head I was thinking constantly that I need that change, I need something, and Allah Ta'ala opened up that way for me. And remembrance of Allah, making dua and putting your hands together, make that dua, and he made it happen. And that's how I was able to spend time, do my research, look into what I really want to do, where can I start off with. That's why I started off with hijabs first. Now I'm slowly introducing modest wear, and eventually I want to get into swimwear. I want to get into like gym wear. And
that's cool.
There's
a need for
that.
There's
a need for that swimwear too.
Yeah.
It's not readily available.
It's not easy, and if it is, it's expensive.
It's expensive, right?
For sure. So,
or it's online,
and some of them aren't even modest. Actually, I'm just like that does not look like that's a halal.
That's one thing.
Outfit,
when I went to like my trip in Mexico, I didn't get swimwear because I'm like, I don't think that's appropriate. You know, like you're wearing a hijab and then it's like skin tight.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah.
So basically, you need to create a swimwear line.
Yes.
Your own. Yes. We're waiting. You have 2 months.
We're giving you a deadline. We're giving you a deadline.
Speaking of like these challenges and stuff like that, I'm sure there's always going to be challenges in owning your business. And I think that's the other thing too, is being a business owner is it's not all glitter and glam all the time.
No,
there are sacrifices you have to make. There are elements that you're not going to like, but you're passionate about what you're bringing to the table, and you believe in what you're bringing to the table, and that's what's driving you. It's not that you're gonna like every single element.
No.
And so for people who want to start their own business, just know that not everything you're gonna enjoy.
It's not
right. Let's talk more
and
about
also
that.
not everything that you offer everyone's gonna like.
Yes.
People have
that's
their
true.
preferences. People have their taste, and it's not necessary that your taste is going to be liked by everyone else. And so that's, I think, a challenge that you need to get comfortable with as well.
Yeah.
That
how are you going to talk to clients if they're giving you feedback that's not, positive?
But also that's normal.
But
not
that's normal.
everyone's
But you
gonna
take
like
that-
everything.
You take that as constructive criticism, right?
criticism.
And that's what I was going to get into when I got my first feedback. And but she was really nice about it as well. But again, that's going to come, that your customer will have their preference of, for whatever reason that they might not have liked the product, or there might be an issue. But what you try to do is you don't get defensive about it.
No.
You try to work with them. And that's where I think that also helps, because those situations also help them understand that, this brand, they really want to work with you. They want to make sure that you're satisfied at the end of the day. It's not just like, sorry, we don't do returns, or we don't do exchanges or whatever. No, for us, it's okay. You're not happy with it. By all means, send it back. I'm going to send you a new one, or I'm going to fix this issue. And that's what, we really wanted to focus on, that be there. Your entire brand is for people,
It's
right?
for
So if they're
people,
not going
yeah.
to be happy,
Yeah.
they're not going to be satisfied, then what's the point?
Then what's the point?
Yeah. So,
Yeah. For me, it was like, obviously I don't sell a product, it's a service. So for me, it's mostly price, right?
So
Clients
where's the boundary where like
yeah.
where
You
like
can't
you're
please
like
everyone.
yeah, so where
That's
are
one
you
thing.
like, hey, like I care about what you're saying, I get it,
Mhm.
but no, this is what I'm gonna stick with. This
Yeah.
is what my product or
And
my service is.
That's what it is. You have to stick with.
So how do you build that? Like what's your guys' barometer of like, I get it, I hear you.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna say it to you,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna stick with what I'm doing. I'm
Yeah.
gonna stick with my price.
So just say it.
Yeah.
You just have to say it.
Yeah.
I think
You have to be honest and
Yeah.
open. I think
Honest
that's
and
what it is.
openness,
You
yeah.
have to be honest with yourself, and you have to be honest with
like
them
what
as
you're
well.
offering.
Yeah.
Like for example, for you, the quality of the fabric, it's huge.
Yeah.
Yes, you
Yeah.
can get a cheaper fabric,
Mhm.
but you get what you paid for.
Yeah.
You get what you paid for.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, I could be like, this is the machine I'm using. This is
Yeah.
the experience I have. I read somewhere you're not paying for your service, but also the knowledge and background that you have,
Mhm.
right? So for me, it's always the price that customers are like. And I'm like, hey, if it's price is an issue, we can work with that.
Yeah.
But if you really want to do laser hair removal, just do it. Price is an issue, we can work with that. So I'm flexible with that. Like if you're really, you want it, you're interested, because you can tell when some people are just asking too many questions,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it's like they ghost you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They're like, okay, I'm not giving you a good price, or
Yeah.
you're not coming
Yeah.
back. But when someone's really interested, then yes, I do work with them, and we come to a price that we're both okay with.
Yeah.
know?
I mean, that's unique. I don't services like that.
Yes.
Usually it's
Yeah.
cold
And
cut.
it's
right?
cold cut.
Yeah, it's
That's
like it
true.
is
And,
what
and,
it
I,
is
and
what
I get
it
it.
is.
Yeah.
And even when I have like a cancellation policy or like a rescheduling policy, I have that in place.
Mhm.
But if I know a client is coming on time and for whatever reason they woke up sick, I won't enforce that on you guys. Like, hey, you don't have to pay like the $50, because I
Yeah.
know, hey, like you've been coming for the past every month, so it's every month you come, right, for your sessions, and you're coming, you're amazing, you're sweet, you, even if you're late, you're apologetic about it.
Yeah.
So obviously then I know, like, I'm not gonna go make you pay it.
Mm.
So that's how I do it. Some people are again like, hey, like this is it.
Yeah.
It's either you pay or sorry, you're
Yeah.
not coming.
Yeah.
Some people have even like canceled clients, like, hey, sorry, I blocked you. You're not on my client list anymore. So I guess you just have to be kind.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
empathetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know what someone's going through. Again, there's been days where I have to cancel clients the day of because I just woke up sick,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? So put yourself in their shoes, and I think that everyone has their own way of doing how to approach this, but I guess for me, I'm just more flexible in that area. And sometimes I feel like I'm too kind and too flexible, and
That's always better than being too not flexible.
too not
and too
flexible,
unkind,
because
right?
then you'll get that review.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's gonna throw you completely off, because that one bad review versus the 76 good reviews you have will put you in that hole. It's like, okay, there, I did nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is that?
Why is that?
I don't get why.
And
That your mind
yeah.
just sort of like you start singing, but then just look at everything else that you have.
Yeah,
look at
yeah.
all
Yeah.
the other amazing.
We
reviews
focus
that
on
you
the
have.
negative, right?
Yeah,
That's
and
also
negative is
shaitan
so
being
huge
like,
in our,
yeah.
negative is so huge.
Yeah. But no, I'm slowly starting to get over that as well. That
Mhm.
That's okay. Like I said before, that
Can't please
everyone,
everyone.
you
Yeah.
can't please
please
everyone.
everyone.
And
No.
alhamdulillah, you've built such a great
Yeah.
clientele.
Yeah.
Repeat customers.
Yes.
Just focus on that.
yes. And if they need it, they're gonna come to you.
yeah,
They're
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
look elsewhere.
yeah.
and they're like,
which is
okay.
okay.
No,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
like, I have clients, and alhamdulillah, I'm so grateful for that. Like, they're coming from Ajax, they're coming from Bowmanville, there's one sweet mom that buses from Cambridge,
Wow.
because
man.
she's saying that they cannot find anyone in their neighborhood, something like this, someone that's trusting, someone
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
loyal,
And
someone
people
that's
will go far for services.
people will go far for
Yeah,
services.
yeah,
And again,
yeah.
and I tell them, like, hey, you're coming once a month,
Yeah. Yeah.
so like sometimes when they come down in Mississauga, they'll visit like their in-laws, or they'll do their other appointments, and then they'll put laser in as well. So alhamdulillah, like, I'm grateful for that. Again, just building that trust and being loyal to your customers, and just put it out there, communicate. Don't
Yes.
hide it, because then if they, let's say, sure, like if they find out that you're cheaping or you're taking their money, you'll be embarrassed, and that's
Mhm.
your brand,
Mhm.
and then word spreads. word spreads around, just like how word spreads around, like, hey, you're good, like this is a great laser lady, so come on in. Word will spread around that, hey, no, like do not go to her. Right.
Yeah.
And I think people come with different circumstances. So I think like the benefit of you running your clinic at home is you can be flexible.
Yes.
Whereas some technicians, they have to pay rent for right. So they have to hold their ground. They'll be flexible, but there's like a firmness that they have to put down. So I think I like that you said that there's different approaches to things, and it's just what approach speaks to you as a client. Right.
I'm still learning on that.
And because that will take time.
I'm still learning on that. And IceBeam laser, it's been a year in the making, so there's still some learning to do.
Yeah.
But we're getting there.
I think there will always be learning to do. I don't think you're gonna stop learning as a business owner.
Like
right?
you don't want to come across as rude or obnoxious, and especially because you are the face of your brand.
Yeah.
You don't have a manager. You don't have employees.
You are the manager.
You are the manager.
employee.
You are the employee. You are the labor.
Everything.
You are the labor. You're everything.
Yeah.
So you just have to, like, your brand should resonate with like how you are as a person as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you ever think about like, but I'm gonna see if I want to have you as a client?
Yeah.
Because like, or like, I can see from a business point of view, you're just getting whoever you get, but also you want to think about who you're bringing in your home, who you're gonna deal with. Is this person gonna give you a hard time every single time?
And I have that. I have done that, and I just politely say like, sure. There was a lady that came in and she bargained with me really hard, and it got to the point where I'm like, okay, you can pay for what you like, because I don't want to like arguments. Like, I don't want that at all. And then I politely just told her, like, unfortunately, like, I won't be taking you as a client, and this is why. And she was like, as long as you say it in a way that's not demeaning and they understand, they'll be fine. Like, so it was okay. Like, it wouldn't have worked if she came every month. I would have been in that same mental space where I met her initially. And I want like just to be positive throughout. And so I knew that it would not have worked out. And you just say it politely.
Yeah,
right.
That's what it is.
You just say it politely, and
you just, I think you do your best in the delivery. I don't think sometimes they won't, like, sometimes they might not receive it well. Yeah. But you did your best in saying it the way you could.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's it.
And that's it.
Right? Like,
you're
not gonna get a smile out of it.
Yeah.
But you said what you needed to say.
Yeah.
No, and you know, we do have to soon wrap up.
Yeah.
And I guess what I want to end the discussion off with is, you know, you guys gave so much input in the who's, the hows, the what's, right? The support, the pros, the cons, the relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So for everybody that's listening or watching this video, and for those sisters who wanna take the step, but they're just reluctant, they're a little scared, what is 1, 2, 3 pieces of advice that you could offer them as fellow business owners?
I think one is definitely, the first and foremost is just go for it. Take that risk. Take that leap of, that risk that you're afraid of. There's nothing to be afraid of.
There's nothing.
Yeah, because you're not going to lose anything.
No.
Because as it is, you're not starting off with anything at this point. So just you know.
You're not going to lose anything.
You're not.
I guess if it doesn't even go your way, like that's you
it's
still
okay.
gaining.
You're still gaining.
You're learning.
You're learning.
You're learning. If it doesn't work, that's okay too.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not like you're the only one in that boat. There's so many other people that might be going through that as well. So I never feel that you're on your own. If there's anything, you can even reach out to me or
you
as well, you know,
and
because
I have done that as well when I was starting. I reached out to like a laser tech, like, hey, I've been coming to you, can you help me with like how to get gels, how to get supplies?
That's awesome.
And and honestly, like, she was so sweet, which is why I did reach out to her, and she did help me. Right. Another advice though would be, if you really want to start, like how I started, I pushed myself and I made an Instagram page.
And you made it too?
Instagram page.
Yeah.
I made it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because then now I know, okay, I got to post. So this is happening. You know, this is happening. Once you create that page, once you create any social media account that this is happening, you'll just go. It will just go. Right.
And another thing I wanted to add was, if you feel like, okay, for products, I'm not sure how that would apply for services, but I think you might be able to add on to that as well, where I thought maybe starting off with just 2 products. That's not enough.
Mhm.
How are people going to, you know, engage, or like, are they going to be appreciative of, you know, just the 2 products that I'm introducing? That's not gonna, you know, you're thinking that,
Yeah.
you know, you need to have this, you need to have that. I should add this product, but I don't have the resources or the money for it.
Or the money
No.
for it. Yeah.
Just go for it.
Just go
just
for
take
it.
the
Just
step.
even if it's
Just start small. It's
Just
how
start
you
small, yeah.
how you introduce yourself, how you're gonna, you know, what medium you use to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
That's what matters, right? It's likability. Once people start liking you, you know, that's when you'll get that response.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and then you go
And
from
then
there.
just to wrap it up with the whole, I think that was the most common factor, just having trust in Allah.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Take the step
Take the
and trust
step
in
and
Allah,
trust in
and
Allah.
it will be.
Yeah.
No, honestly, ladies,
Yeah.
Jazakallah khair.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Jazakallah
much.
to you,
Yeah,
Madiha.
You guys were
Thank you
awesome.
for inviting
You were
us.
awesome.
No,
You're
no,
awesome.
no. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Go
May
Madiha.
Allah,
So comfortable.
may Allah put
Yeah.
so much barakah in your guys'
Ameen.
business.
Ameen.
And to the
Ameen.
Muslimah Nook audience, you guys can do it. Like both sisters said, go for it. And you have 2 sisters here who are ready to receive any questions that you
Yes,
have.
for
And
sure.
you know, it's not about working against each other, but
No.
working together.
Together.
Right?
Yes.
We need
It's
to
a
help one
community.
another.
Yeah.
We're not competition, we're complementary.
You're
Yeah.
And so go for it,
Yeah.
inshallah. And we're here to support you.
Yes.
Message us. And
Definitely.
thank you again so much,
No,
ladies.
thank you,
Thank you.
Madiha.
Thank you.
Jazakallah. Thank
Jazakallah
you,
so much.
Sana. as
No,
well.
same to you.
Yeah.
All right, let's say salam. Salam.
Alaikum.